Well, a very warm welcome. Thank you very much for joining me on the first edition of Seattle Daily Real Estate. And what we're going to do, the intention of this is to send out some daily information on YouTube, Facebook, and provide really updates, compelling information that you can use in terms of the Seattle real estate market and where it's headed. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to add first thing we're going to look at is today a national chart that came out and national data. Get this up here. There we go. And we have our active listings that was put out today. This chart courtesy of MBS Highway, Barry Habib's company. And we're looking at 669 active listings in the United States, which is extraordinarily low. That's why we see such tight housing inventories right now. And in the Seattle area, it's just about as tight as any place in the country. Following up on that, what we do find that's interesting is let's go to the U.S. rent indexes, and this comes from calculated risk. And what we can see is that rents are coming down. Inflation's not a problem anymore. Um, these are all three of the major rent indexes coming from Apartment List, Zillow, and CoreLogic. And you can see all three of them are headed in the same direction at a slightly different point, but they're all sub 5%. The Apartment List rental index is the lowest. It's showing negative growth right now, and the others are following behind. We're not going to have any issues for the foreseeable future with inflation. You might see some issues with gasoline prices, energy prices, but the largest core part of the CPI and core CPI, the largest component by far is shelter in place and the rent equivalents. So you're going to see no problems per se with inflation moving forward, even if we see higher higher oil and gas prices, which right now we are seeing. So it'll be a blip, but nothing major. Moving on, we had a difficult day in the bond markets today. You can see that. See here. This is a chart of the mortgage-backed securities. Towards the end of the close, not quite at the close, the 30-year 5.5 note was down 27 basis points, holding at support. It actually broke through support going into the end of the day. So the rest of the week's going to be interesting. It's going to get a little bit dicey. And we'll move on to the next index, which is the 10-year Treasury note, and you can see that move significantly higher. At the time that I printed this out right before the close, came in at 4.262%, which is up nearly 9 basis points. It's a big move higher. And we're continuing right now to see higher interest rates. The trend is higher. The trend has not been broken. And so that's something that's going to be very important to keep an eye on to see if we can get a trend that reverses at some point, but that hasn't happened yet. Moving into the local stocks, um, first place we're going to look here is Amazon, and we see Amazon stocks at 136.96 near the close, down a bit, down 1.16 points, or down 0.84%. And moving over to Microsoft, what we're seeing is Microsoft up 4.71 points at 333.37, up 1.43%. And then finally, we'll take a look at last local stock is Boeing. That is basically unchanged, sitting at 223.44. So that's about it for the first episode. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll have more information on a daily basis. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk soon.